Hey friends, welcome back to the channel where today we're going to dive into the power of discipline, how to use self-control and mental toughness to achieve your goals by Daniel Walter. This isn't just a summary, this is a full-on adventure into mastering the one skill that separates the dreamers from the doers, discipline. Are you ready? Let's do this. Now before we crack open this book, let me ask you something. Have you ever set a goal, something big, something you really wanted, and then nothing? Weeks go by, months, maybe even years, and you're still staring at that same unfinished dream? Maybe you've told yourself, I'm just not cut out for this, or success is for the lucky ones, not me. Sound familiar? Well, Daniel Walter's got news for you. It's not about luck, talent, or some magical fairy dust. It's about discipline. And the best part? It's a skill you can learn, build, and master, no matter where you're starting from. So buckle up, because we're about to unpack every single chapter of this gem, from the science of your brain to the Zen secrets of focus. Let's start at the beginning. All right, Daniel Walter kicks things off with a bang in the intro. He's not here to sugarcoat anything. He says, look, if you want to turn your dreams into reality, you need self-discipline. Talent, intelligence, skill, they're just pieces of the puzzle. Without discipline, you're stuck spinning your wheels. And I love how he frames this right out of the gate. He's not promising you overnight success or some fluffy motivational hype. He's saying, this is the foundation. This is the real deal. Picture this. You're in the middle of chaos. Work's piling up. The kids are screaming. Your phone won't stop buzzing. And yet, somehow, you stay focused. You keep pushing. That's discipline. It's the mental toughness to bulldoze through the mess and come out on the other side with your goals in hand. Walter's mission: to show you how to build that toughness, step by step. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to feel like you've got a playbook for unstoppable living. So let's dive into Chapter 1 and see where this all begins. Chapter 1, Self-Discipline, the Biological Argument, where Walter gets nerdy. And I'm here for it. He calls this self-discipline, the biological argument, and it's all about what's happening inside your head. You ever wonder why it's so dang hard to say no to that extra slice of pizza or to get out of bed when the alarm screams? Turns out, it's not just you being lazy, it's your brain doing what it's wired to do. Walter takes us into the prefrontal cortex, this little command center in your skull that's basically the boss of self-control. He explains that this part of your brain is like a muscle. Some people are born with a slightly stronger one, lucky them. But here's the kicker: you can train it. Every time you resist an urge, every time you choose the hard thing over the easy thing, you're flexing that muscle. And the more you flex it, the stronger it gets. It's like going to the gym, but for your mind. Now, let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you're scrolling Instagram, and you see this perfect life. Someone's on a yacht, sipping a cocktail, while you're eating cereal out of a chipped bowl. Your brain goes, ooh, I want that. That's your limbic system, the instant gratification junkie, kicking in. But then your prefrontal cortex steps up and says, hold up, buddy. You've got work to do if you want that yacht someday. That's the battle Walter's talking about: instant pleasure versus long-term gain. And discipline? It's picking the long game every single time. I'll be real with you. I've lost that battle more times than I can count. Late-night Netflix binges instead of working on this channel? Guilty. But Walter's point is, it's not about being perfect. It's about stacking up those little wins. Say no to the snooze button once, and you've got a victory. Do it again tomorrow, and you're building a habit. That's the science he's laying out here, and it's honestly kind of empowering. Your brain isn't your enemy. It's just a tool you haven't fully mastered yet. So what's your first move gonna be? Think about it as we roll into Chapter 2. Okay, Chapter 2, The Benefits of Self-Discipline. where Walter starts selling you on why this whole discipline thing is worth it. And let me tell you, the benefits, they're juicy. He's not just talking about getting stuff done, though that's huge. He's talking about transforming your entire life. Imagine waking up every day feeling in control, not like the days running you ragged. That's what self-discipline gives you. Walter breaks it down into some big wins. First, there's focus. When you're disciplined, distractions don't own you anymore. You're not that person checking their phone every 5 seconds. You're locked in, getting after it. Then there's resilience. Life's gonna throw punches, deadlines, setbacks, that jerk who cuts you off in traffic. But discipline keeps you standing. You don't crumble, you adapt. And finally, success. Not the fake, flashy kind, but the real, earned kind. The kind that feels good because you worked for it. Let me tell you a quick story. Last year, I decided to get serious about this channel. I'd been inconsistent, posting whenever I felt like it, no schedule, no plan. Then I read this book, and chapter 2 hit me like a freight train. I started waking up at 5 a.m., scripting videos, editing even when I was exhausted. Was it fun? Heck no. But 6 months later, Xerox Zone doubled its subscribers. That's discipline in action. What could it do for you? Maybe it's that business you've been dreaming about, or finally running that 5K. Walter's saying it's all on the table if you're willing to put in the work. So here's your homework. Think of one thing, one goal that discipline could unlock for you. Write it down. We're gonna circle back to it later. For now, let's hit chapter 3 and figure out why change feels so freaking hard. Chapter 3, the status quo bias. Why we resist change, where Walter gets into the sneaky stuff. Those hidden traps in your mind that keep you stuck. He calls it the status quo bias. And it's like this invisible force that whispers, hey, just stay comfy, don't rock the boat. Ever notice how you'll stick with a lousy phone plan or a dead-end job just because it's familiar? That's status quo bias messing with you. Walter says it's baked into us from way back, like caveman days. Staying put kept us safe from saber-toothed tigers, right? But today it's holding you back from leveling up. He tells this story about a guy who wanted to lose weight. He knew the steps: eat better, hit the gym, but every day he'd plop on the couch with a bag of chips. Why? Because it was easier to stick with the old routine than face the discomfort of change. Sound familiar? Here's where it gets wild. Walter says the first step to beating this bias is recognizing it. Call it out. Next time you're about to skip that workout or procrastinate on that project, ask yourself, am I just clinging to what's easy? I tried this the other day. I was about to skip filming this video because I was tired. Then I caught myself. Status quo bias, you sneaky devil. I got up, hit record, and here we are. What's your status quo keeping you from? Let's keep that question simmering as we move to chapter 4. All right. Chapter 4, a reality check. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a gut punch, but in a good way. Walter calls it a reality check, and he brings in this thing called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Ever met someone who's terrible at something but thinks they're a genius? That's Dunning-Kruger. Overconfidence from not knowing what you don't know. And guess what? We've all been there. Walter flips it, though. He says this effect can sabotage your discipline if you're not careful. Like, you might think, oh, I've got this goal in the bag, but you overestimate your skills and underprepare. I did this with my first video. Thought I'd just wing it, no script, no plan. It was a disaster. Took me 3 hours to edit out all the UHS and awkward silences. Lesson learned. But here's the flip side. Once you know your limits, you can work on them. Walter's all about humility here. He says, check your ego, get real about where you're at, and then build from there. It's like a GPS. You can't get to your destination if you don't know your starting point. So, friends, where are you overestimating yourself right now? Be honest. We're growing together here. Whew, we're 4 chapters in, and we're just getting warmed up. We've got the science, the benefits, the traps. Now it's time to start building. Chapter 5 is where Walter hands you the tools. Let's go. Chapter 5, Daily Habits to Improve Self-Discipline, is gold, folks. Walter calls it Daily Habits to Improve Self-Discipline. And it's like he's handing you a toolbox for life. He's big on routines, morning and evening ones specifically. He says a solid morning routine sets you up to win the day, and a good evening routine keeps you from sabotaging it. Picture this. You wake up at 6 a.m., no snooze button. You drink some water, stretch, maybe meditate for 5 minutes. Boom, you're in control before the world even starts pulling at you. Then at night, an hour before bed, you wind down. No screens, maybe read a book, plan tomorrow. Walter says this stuff wires your brain for productivity. I started doing this, swapped late-night TikTok for journaling, and I'm telling you, it's a game changer. He also talks about breaking goals into tiny chunks. Big dreams are awesome, but they're intimidating. Want to write a book? Start with 100 words a day. Want to get fit? Do 10 push-ups. Small wins stack up, and suddenly you're disciplined without even realizing it. What's one habit you could start tomorrow? All right, viewees. Now we're rolling into Chapter 6, Tips for Building Better Habits. This is where Daniel Walter starts getting super practical, and I'm pumped to unpack it with you. Habits, right? They're like the secret sauce of discipline. You don't just wake up one day and run a marathon. You build up to it step by step, habit by habit. And Walter's got some killer tips to make that happen. First up, he's all about starting small, like ridiculously small. He calls it the 1% better rule. You want to read more? Don't aim for a whole book. Start with 1 page. Want to exercise? Do 1 squat. I tried this after reading the chapter. My goal was to edit videos faster, so I started with just 5 minutes of focused editing a day. No pressure, no overwhelm. A month later, I'm cranking out content like a machine. That's the power of tiny habits. They sneak up on you and turn into big wins. Then there's this gem, stack your habits. Walter says to piggyback a new habit onto something you already do. You brush your teeth every morning, right? Add a quick stretch right after. Boom, habit stacked. I started doing this with my coffee routine. Every time I brew a cup, I jot down 3 things I'm grateful for. It's automatic now, and it's shifted my whole mindset. What could you stack, huh? Think about it. Oh, and he drops this truth bomb. Don't break the chain. Get a calendar, mark an X every day you stick to your habit, and watch that chain grow. There's something addictive about not wanting to see a blank day. I've got a streak going for scripting these videos. 43 days and counting. It's like a game, and I'm winning. So what's your first habit gonna be? Tell me in the comments. I'm dying to hear. Chapter 6 is your blueprint, folks. Small steps, smart stacking, and a chain you won't want to break. We're building momentum now. Let's see what's holding us back in Chapter 7. Okay, Chapter 7 is what's hindering your discipline. Here, Walter gets real with us. And it's like he's holding up a mirror and saying, hey, let's figure out what's tripping you up. Because here's the deal. Discipline isn't just about doing the right things. It's about dodging the wrong ones, too. He starts with procrastination. Oh man, this one hit me hard. Walter says procrastination isn't laziness. It's fear dressed up as laziness. Fear of failing, fear of not being good enough. Ever put off something because you're secretly terrified it won't work out? I used to delay posting videos because I thought, what if nobody watches? Walter's fix: break it down and just start. Even if it's messy, even if it sucks, just move. I did that with this video. Started with one sentence and now we're hours in. Progress over perfection, right? Then there's distractions. Walter's like, your phone? It's a discipline assassin. He talks about how every ping and buzz hijacks your focus. He suggests time blocking, set aside chunks where you're untouchable. I tried it. 2 hours, phone off, just me and this script. I got more done than in a whole week of multitasking. What's your biggest distraction? Social media? TV? That neighbor who won't stop chatting? And don't get me started on excuses. Walter calls them discipline kryptonite. I'm too tired. I'll do it tomorrow. Sound familiar? He says to catch yourself mid-excuse and flip it. I'm tired becomes, I'll feel better after I start. I've been using that one to drag myself to the gym, and it works. What excuse do you need to ditch? Let's burn it right now and keep rolling to Chapter 8. Chapter 8. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable is a game changer, friends. Walter titles it, Get Comfortable with Being Uncomfortable. And it's like he's daring you to step up. Discipline isn't cozy, it's gritty, it's raw, it's pushing past that voice screaming, stop, this sucks. And Walter's here to tell you, that's where the magic happens. He starts with this idea that discomfort is your teacher. You know that burn in your legs after a workout? That awkward silence when you say no to a night out to work on your goals? That's growth knocking. Walter says most people run from it. They chase comfort like it's the holy grail. But the disciplined, they lean in. They hug the suck. I love that phrase, hug the suck. I started doing it with cold showers. First week, torture. Now, I crave that jolt. It's like I'm telling my brain, I'm tougher than you think. He's got this exercise too. Do one uncomfortable thing a day. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting or tackling that chore you've been dodging. I did this, called a friend I'd been avoiding because I owed them an apology. Was it fun? Nope. Did it make me stronger? You bet. Walter's point is, the more you face discomfort, the less it scares you. It's like building calluses on your soul. Picture this. You're at the edge of your comfort zone, staring at something big, a new job, a crazy goal. Most people turn back. But you take one step into the unknown, then another. That's discipline. What's one uncomfortable thing you've been avoiding? Now it is Chapter 9 where Walter gets a little zen on us. Improve your focus with meditation. Now, if you're like me, you might have rolled your eyes at this one. Meditation? Isn't that for monks and yoga gurus? But Walter makes it so practical, so doable, you'll wish you'd started years ago. He says focus is like a spotlight. You can shine it wherever you want, but most of us let it bounce around like a pinball. Meditation trains you to grab that spotlight and hold it steady. He breaks it down, sit quietly, breathe, notice your thoughts without chasing them. Sounds simple, right? It's not. First time I tried it, my brain was like, oh, groceries. Oh, that email. Oh, did I lock the door? But Walter says that's normal. The win is in coming back to your breath. He ties it to discipline beautifully. Every time you refocus, you're flexing that prefrontal cortex we talked about in Chapter 1. It's like a gym session for your attention. I started with 5 minutes a day, nothing fancy, just me and a timer. Now I'm up to 15 and I swear I'm sharper. Editing this video, laser focused, no more drifting off mid-sentence. Walter even throws in science, studies showing meditation boosts willpower and cuts stress. Less stress, more control. I mean, Who doesn't want that? So here's my challenge. Try it for a week. 5 minutes. Tell me how it goes. Let's see if we can zen our way to chapter 10 is all about the voice in your head. Walter calls it using self-talk to improve discipline. And it's like he's handing you the mic to your own hype squad. You know that chatter that's always running? You can't do this. You're not good enough. Walter says you can rewrite it. He's big on affirmations, but not the cheesy kind. It's about real, gritty self-talk that pushes you forward. Instead of, I'm too tired, you say, I've got enough left in me to finish this. Walter says it's like coaching yourself through the tough spots. I started doing this when I'm filming late. Like right now, it's 11 p.m. and I'm still going. I tell myself, you're a beast, you've got this. And you know what? It works. He also warns about the negative spiral. One bad thought, I messed up, can snowball into I'm a failure. Walter's fix, catch it early, replace it with something real. I messed up, but I'm learning. I used this after a video flopped last month. Instead of quitting, I told myself, every miss is a lesson. Next video, crushed it. Think about your self-talk. What's it saying right now? Is it lifting you up or dragging you down? Let's tweak it and charge into Chapter 11. Chapter 11 is where we get swole, mentally, that is. Walter calls it willpower, strengthening your discipline muscle, and it's all about that inner grit. Willpower's like a battery, he says. It runs low if you don't recharge it. But the good news, you can make it last longer and get stronger. He talks about the ego depletion theory, fancy term for when your willpower tanks after too many decisions. Ever notice how you're a rock star in the morning, but by evening you're like, screw it, I'm eating this whole pizza? That's depletion. Walter's hack? Prioritize the big stuff early. I started scripting these videos first thing, before emails, before chores. Game changer. Then there's willpower workouts. Say no to small temptations, like skipping that extra coffee to build your resistance. I did this with snacks, passed on chips for a week, and suddenly saying no to other stuff got easier. Walter says it's cumulative. Every no makes the next one stronger. He also throws in rest, sleep, breaks, a good meal. They're willpower fuel. I slept 8 hours before filming this, and I'm still buzzing. How's your willpower battery? Chapter 12 is where it all comes together. Self-discipline and goal setting. Walter's like, you've got the tools. Now aim them at something big. He's huge on clarity. Vague goals like, I want to be successful, don't cut it. He says make them specific, measurable, badass. I'll grow the Xerox zone to 100K subs by next year. That's a goal you can chase. He breaks it into steps. Write it down, set deadlines, track progress. I did this with my fitness. Run 5K in under 30 minutes by June. Broke it into weekly runs, tracked every mile. Hit it last month, and the high? Unreal. Walter says discipline thrives on structure. Give it a map, and it'll take you there. He also talks about setbacks. They're not failures. Their feedback. Miss a deadline? Adjust, keep going. I bombed a video deadline once, but I didn't quit. Tweaked my plan, and here we are. What's your big goal? Let's map it out as we wrap up with Chapter 13. Chapter 13, folks. Putting it all together. Walter ties it up with a bow and hands you the keys to the kingdom. He's like, you've got the science, the habits, the mindset, now live it. He recaps everything. Train your brain, stack those wins, face the suck, focus like a monk, talk yourself up, flex that willpower, chase clear goals. It's a lifestyle, not a quick fix. He ends with a story about a woman who went from couch potato to marathon runner using these steps. Took years, not days, but she did it. That's the vibe, slow, steady, disciplined. I'm on that path with this channel. Hours of work, late nights, But every view, every comment, worth it. So friends, where are you taking this? What's your next step? I've poured 7 hours into this because I believe in you. Let's do this together. Drop your thoughts below, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.